The reality is you can't.
When LeBron James suddenly exploded at Austin Reaves during that Lakers game, it caught everyone off guard. The strange part was that the Lakers already had a comfortable lead, yet LeBron's reaction told a completely different story. His body language was sharp, and his gestures were intense, making the tension obvious even through the broadcast. At first glance, it seemed like a superstar snapping for no reason, and fans immediately started asking what had just happened between LeBron and Reaves. As new camera angles and sideline clips circulated online, the moment appeared far more complicated. People began digging deeper into what might really be going on behind the scenes in the locker room. Some insiders hinted that tension between LeBron and Reaves had been quietly building for a while others suggested the real issue had nothing to do with that single play on the court. According to whispers, it all traced back to one particularly sensitive subject within the Lakers organization, Bronny James. Some fans even speculated that Reaves may have embarrassed Bronny during practice or team moments earlier in the season. Though nothing was confirmed publicly, the rumor alone ignited social media. Suddenly, LeBron's outburst at Reaves didn't seem random anymore, it felt personal. Viewed with that context, the frustration on LeBron's face made much more sense. To understand his reaction, you have to recognize the pressure surrounding Bronny this season. The year has been unlike anything most young players ever experience. Through his first 29 games, Bronny is averaging just a few points, rebounds, and assists while playing very limited minutes. While the raw numbers appear modest, the situation around them is significant. His shooting percentages have improved compared to his rookie year, with noticeable gains in both field goal and three-point percentages. On paper, this looks like progress, but critics point out the obvious catch. His role is minimal, minutes are limited, and opportunities to show real growth are extremely restricted. The debate never stops. Stat watchers argue that the small sample size limits conclusions, while others question whether he belongs in the league at all. Bronny has started only one game this season, and when analysts compare his production to other active players, he ranks near the bottom in several categories. In today's non-stop sports media cycle, these stats get amplified everywhere. Major network draft analysts and even a few league executives have openly questioned the Lakers' decision to draft him, bluntly suggesting that if his last name wasn't James, he might not have been drafted at all. Former NBA players have joined the discussion, publicly claiming that even high school players could compete with Bronny in open runs. These comments spread quickly online, adding more heat to the conversation. The criticism never slows down. Every time Bronny steps on the court, the same word seems to follow him: nepotism. The label appears in comment sections, sports shows, podcasts, and social media debates, often overshadowing discussions of his actual performance. More often than not, the conversation starts with the name, not the player.
My legacy is my kids. That's the most important. My kids, my community, my family. That's all that matters to me. The basketball, things of that nature, obviously, has given me an unbelievable platform to be able to do the things that I love.
When J.J. Redick said back in January 2025 that Bronny hadn't played well, critics treated the comment as confirmation of everything they'd been saying since draft night. The reaction was immediate. Online debates exploded, with people repeating the same line over and over: "He doesn't belong here." Others pushed it further, claiming the only reason he was on an NBA roster was because of his father. Now, put yourself in LeBron's shoes for a moment. He's 41 years old and closing out one of the greatest careers basketball has ever seen. Every season could be one of the final chapters of his legendary run. Instead of just focusing on the game, he watches his 21-year-old son face relentless criticism from every direction. And this isn't just about basketball pressure. Bronny had already survived a terrifying cardiac arrest scare just 2 years ago, an ordeal that forced him to rebuild his strength and confidence step by step. That kind of experience changes everything. The spotlight was already bright, but after that moment, it became even more intense. LeBron sees it all: the memes, the podcast debates, the comment sections, and the endless arguments on television panels. Through all the noise, he has stayed firm on one message: his son earned his opportunity. He is developing, and if anyone has a problem with that, they can take it up with him. Bold, direct, and unshaken, LeBron has made it clear he stands behind his son no matter what anyone says. Many casual fans don't notice that Bronny's performances outside the NBA spotlight tell a very different story. When he plays in the G League with the South Bay Lakers, the numbers look far more promising. During several stretches, Bronny has put together scoring runs of 15 to 20 points per game. His assist numbers are solid, his decision-making improves, and his overall rhythm looks more comfortable when he gets real playing time. The biggest difference is simple: minutes. When Bronny receives consistent minutes and a defined role, his confidence grows and his game opens up in ways rarely seen during his limited NBA appearances. That 47% three-point shooting number starts to look impressive. If that stat belonged to a different second-round pick without the James name, many analysts might call it a promising sign for future development. But public opinion can be ruthless. Once a narrative locks in, it becomes nearly impossible to change. From the moment the Lakers announced Bronny's name on draft night, the debate exploded across sports shows, podcasts, and comment sections online. For many critics, that first impression became permanent. No matter what improvement comes later, they refuse to move away from the story they decided on day one. For Bronny, the label often precedes his performance. Every mistake is magnified more than it would be for almost any other young player. That pressure doesn't sit solely on Bronny's shoulders, it sits on LeBron's as well. Think about the environment inside the locker room. Every practice, every film session, every team meeting, every road trip dinner. LeBron knows everyone around him is aware of the outside noise. His teammates see the headlines, hear the debates, and know the basketball world is watching for how Bronny performs and how the team responds. And yes, that includes Austin Reaves. The real question isn't whether LeBron is protective of his son. That part is obvious. Any parent would feel the same in that situation. The question is whether that protectiveness is influencing how he interacts with teammates when Bronny becomes part of the conversation. Based on what unfolded in February 2026, many fans began wondering if that line was starting to blur. Everything escalated when a viral claim appeared online, alleging that Austin Reaves and Bronny had a heated confrontation during team practice. According to the rumor, teammates had to step in after Reaves reportedly disrespected Bronny during a workout session. Within minutes, the story went viral. Fans shared it across social media, commentators discussed it, and many connected it to LeBron's intense sideline reaction from earlier games. Suddenly, that moment where LeBron barked at Reaves didn't look random anymore, it looked deeply personal. But there was a massive problem: the story wasn't real. It originated from a satirical account called Jake Morrison NBA, which clearly labeled itself as satire. Yahoo Sports quickly confirmed that no credible journalist, Lakers insider, or team source backed any part of the claim. The facts were clear, yet by that point, millions had already seen and believed the rumor. The tension described felt believable. The idea that someone on the Lakers might cross a line with Bronny, prompting LeBron to step in, didn't seem impossible to fans who had followed the season. In fact, some almost expected it.
Standing in the paint, he wants the free rebound. Then on offense, he's rushing the possessions and flat out says, "They gotta get Bron one more rebound, man," before laughing hysterically at how ridiculous this is.
LeBron is just as big as a stat-obsessed person as are his fans. This is how they make their entire argument. Stat.
That expectation didn't appear out of nowhere. It built slowly over months through tiny moments that most viewers barely noticed at first. Small looks between players, subtle reactions on the bench, short exchanges caught by cameras for only a second, and body language that spoke louder than words. Each moment by itself seemed insignificant, but when stacked across an entire season, the picture began to change. Suddenly, it felt like everyone in that locker room was moving carefully around the most powerful father and son storyline the NBA has ever seen. And that kind of pressure is anything but normal. It is historic. Here's something people outside the building might not fully grasp. When LeBron James says his legacy is his children, he isn't delivering a polished media quote to sound good on television. He means it every single time he says it. Every word carries weight, and everyone around him knows it. Think about what that really means. This is a man who has dominated the NBA for more than 2 decades, championships, scoring titles, MVPs, records that will stand for generations. Yet, when he talks about what matters most, he doesn't mention trophies or statistics. He talks about his kids. When LeBron says his children matter more than rings, more than records, more than any stat line ever printed on a box score, that shapes the entire atmosphere around him. Basketball built the platform, but his children are the purpose behind everything he does now. That reality changes the temperature in every room he walks into, every locker room conversation, every practice, every sideline interaction. And whether Austin Reaves realized it or not, he stepped straight into that emotional storm on national television. February 12, 2026, Lakers vs Mavericks, Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. The final score would eventually read 124-104, but the numbers alone don't tell the story. Dallas rested several key players, and by the middle of the third quarter, the result already looked decided. It was a blowout. In most situations like this, starters would sit early in the fourth quarter to preserve energy before the All-Star break, which is standard across the league. Coaches protect their stars when the game is already in hand. But this game was different. LeBron was sitting just 2 rebounds away from something historic. If he grabbed them, he would secure the 125th triple-double of his legendary career. At 41 years old, he would also become the oldest player in NBA history to record a triple-double in a win, a milestone that instantly becomes part of basketball history. Because of that, head coach J.J. Redick kept the starters on the floor longer than usual. The decision made sense from a legacy standpoint, but it also shifted the energy inside the arena. Suddenly, the game was not just about finishing a blowout win. It was about chasing history. Cameras caught every detail. LeBron positioned himself closer to the paint on defense, placing his body exactly where rebounds were most likely to fall. His movements were deliberate, his focus absolute. Anyone watching closely could see the rebounds mattered. He wasn't sprinting out to contest every outside shot or flying across the floor chasing rotations. Instead, he stayed planted near the rim, eyes locked upward, waiting for the opportunity to grab the rebound that would seal the moment. On offense, the pace changed too. Possessions moved faster, quick shots, rapid transitions, pushing the ball up the court, resetting the defense, and returning to the paint. The clock was no longer the priority, opportunity was. Then the moment everyone remembers arrived. A Dallas shot bounced hard off the rim. LeBron was in perfect position, but Austin Reaves, playing his usual high-energy style, crashed into the paint and secured the rebound first. Clean, strong, no hesitation. On the next possession, the same thing happened again. Back-to-back rebounds went to Reaves before LeBron could reach them. LeBron's reaction was immediate. His body language changed. Frustration flashed across his face. Within seconds, a timeout was called to calm the situation down. Lakers teammates started pointing toward the scoreboard, then toward LeBron's stat line on the arena display. The message was obvious. They were signaling Reaves what was at stake. Coaches stepped in quickly, teammates leaned in to explain, and the entire arena could feel the shift in energy. Across the court, the Mavericks bench had a front row seat, watching everything closely. Reports later suggested that one of the loudest reactions came from 4-time NBA champion Klay Thompson, who was seen laughing as the scene unfolded. From the outside, the moment looked strange, starters still on the floor during a 20-point blowout, all while one player chased a statistical milestone. The situation felt awkward, and the tension between teammates suddenly became the main storyline. But the most uncomfortable image of the night came from the Lakers bench itself. Bronny James, LeBron's son, sat courtside watching everything unfold. Cameras caught him trying to hold back a laugh, lips tightened, eyes darting between the floor and teammates, looking like someone struggling to keep a straight face while the arena buzzed around him. Meanwhile, his father was locked in, chasing the final rebound needed to complete the milestone. By the next morning, millions had already seen the clip online, and the optics were rough. The opposing bench looked amused, social media was full of jokes, and the camera angle made it appear as if Bronny himself was trying not to laugh. Fair or not, that image spread everywhere. The only person clearly not entertained was LeBron. This is where the Bronny factor enters the conversation. Suddenly, the moment was not just about a rebound. It carried layers. Bronny is the same young player critics constantly label as a nepotism pick, averaging just a few points per game in limited minutes. The same player who hears strangers online say, "You don't belong here," almost every night. Now imagine sitting courtside while Austin Reaves grabs the rebounds your father needs to secure a historic milestone in front of cameras, the entire arena, and millions of viewers at home. Was LeBron frustrated about the stat itself, or was something deeper running through his mind? Did Reaves's hustle, completely normal basketball effort, unintentionally make the moment awkward for LeBron? Only he knows. But the footage gave the public plenty to debate. By the next morning, analysts were already framing the situation as part of a bigger pattern. Earlier in the season, LeBron's long streak of scoring at least 10 points in every game had been a headline. When that streak finally ended, critics analyzed his reaction in detail. Slowly, a new storyline emerged. At 41 years old, some argued, LeBron was no longer chasing championships the same way. Instead, he was focused on records, longevity milestones, triple-doubles, age records, and career totals. When someone gets in the way of those moments, even accidentally, frustration starts to show.